When you buy a house, you just assume it's yours, right? Period. But what if that wasn't always the case? What if your ownership could literally be erased by a mistake made years, even decades before you ever showed up? Well, today, we're going to explore the incredible legal shield that makes your property title almost unbreakable.
I mean, just think about that for a second. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? Imagine you find out the person who sold you your dream home actually got it through some kind of fraud. And because of that one hidden mistake, a court could swoop in and say, sorry, you never legally owned this house in the first place. For a long time, that wasn't just a nightmare scenario, it was a very real risk.
So, to really appreciate how secure things are today, we have to go back and look at the old way of doing things, which was, let's be honest, pretty unstable. It was all based on this idea called the chain of title, where every single transaction in your property's history had to be absolutely perfect for your ownership to be legit.
And the legal principle behind this was called deferred indefeasibility. The best way to think about it is like an actual chain. Your ownership, your title, was just the newest link. But if any link in the past was weak or broken because of some fraud or a mistake, the whole chain from that point forward was completely worthless. Your security was always deferred, always depending on a flawless history that, let's face it, you had zero control over.
You can imagine the uncertainty this created for everyone in the property market. It was a huge problem. But then, one landmark legal case came along and completely revolutionized the entire system. This was the moment that the wobbly, fragile chain was replaced with a solid steel shield.
And that case was Breskvar versus Wall, decided by the High Court of Australia all the way back in 1971. This decision became the absolute cornerstone of modern property security, not just down under, but as a leading example for how the whole Torrance title system, which is based on a central government register, should work all around the world.
And what the court found was so simple yet so powerful. They said, title vests on registration. That's it, just 5 words. But with those 5 words, they completely swept away the entire old concept of the chain of title. Suddenly, the past didn't matter anymore. All that mattered was the present moment, the act of registration.
This ruling established a brand new, powerful principle, and it created a much more secure foundation for property ownership. So, let's take a look at what exactly that principle is.
It's called immediate indefeasibility. And that word, immediate, is everything. It means that the second an innocent buyer is registered as the owner, their title becomes indefeasible, which is just a fancy legal word for unbeatable. It can't be defeated or canceled. And here's the kicker. This is true even if there was a hidden fraud or a major defect in the paperwork that got them there.
And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. You see, under that old deferred system, your title strength was always chained to the past. But under our new immediate system, its strength comes from one thing and one thing only, the present act of registration. You are secure from the moment your name goes on that title, and you're protected from all those past mistakes that you couldn't possibly know about.
So, let's walk through how it works in the real world. First, a transaction happens, and let's say it involves a bogus, fraudulent document. Step 2, an innocent person who has absolutely no idea about the fraud buys the property and registers their title with the government. And then step 3, the second that registration is complete, bam, their title is secure. It's protected. It's theirs.
Okay, so that's the legal theory. It's pretty interesting, right? But what does this all really mean for you, as a property owner, or maybe someone looking to buy? Well, this is where the law has a huge, real-world impact on all of us. This system gives you some incredibly powerful guarantees. First off, it provides certainty, which is really the bedrock of any stable property market. It shields you, the innocent buyer, from the ghosts of the past. Your title is secure the very instant it's registered. Now, there is one major exception to this powerful shield, and it's a big one. It doesn't protect you if you're the one who committed the fraud to get the title. That seems fair enough.
So if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Under our modern system, your ownership doesn't come from some dusty old deed or a fragile chain of paperwork. Your legal title, your ownership, comes directly from one simple thing, the act of registration.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating and kind of tough question. You see, this system provides incredible certainty for the market, but it does that by choosing to protect a new, innocent buyer at the expense of a previous owner who is the victim of fraud. The system makes a choice. So the question for us is it the right one? In this quest for certainty, where do we draw the line between protecting an innocent buyer and getting justice for someone who is cheated out of their property? It's It's a lot to think about.